Good evening. My name is Eric Lindstrom, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Inland Wetland Commission meeting for the town of Monroe. Today is Wednesday, December 10th, and the time is 6:37 p.m. Will everyone please stand to recite the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll take a roll call of members of the commission and staff present during tonight's hybrid meeting. Please answer here or present, starting with myself, Eric Lindstrom, Chairman, here. Ryan Kelly, Vice Chairman. Here. Rick Smith. Here. Jim Stewart, Professional Land Engineer.
Here.
Benjamin Sabia is not here, our Secretary. Paul Fernandez.
Here.
Mark Zamery.
Here.
He is not here. And Andrew Brobman, Inland Wetlands Enforcement Officer.
Here.
Okay, before we start, I'll read our mission statement and how the meeting will proceed. The objective and purpose of the Inland Wetland Commission is to provide for the overall protection and preservation of the inland wetlands and watercourses within the town of Monroe. Please note that this meeting is being conducted utilizing electronic equipment in compliance with State Law Public Act 21-1. As such, this meeting is being recorded and will be available to the public in compliance with state law. If you are attending remotely, you will automatically be muted and unable to unmute yourself. If you wish to speak during the public participation portion of the meeting, please use the raise hand function. If you are participating via telephone, press star 9 to activate the raise hand feature. Staff will announce your name and unmute you when it is your turn to speak. The video feature has also been disabled for public participation. Anyone participating remotely should state their name and title if applicable at the outset of each occasion that such person is speaking. All votes taken during which any member of this body are participating remotely shall be by roll call unless the vote is unanimous. The chat feature will not be utilized nor considered during this meeting. In the normal course of our meetings, we will hear public hearings and other applications. The protocol for this public hearing is to have an applicant make a presentation to the commission, during which and after which the commission will be asking the applicant questions. I ask the applicants keep their presentations as concise as possible. The commission will then review town staff and other independent comments. The meeting will then be open for public comment. I'll ask that all comments be made to the chair or commission. After any and all comments pro, in opposition, or of a general nature are made, the applicant will be given an opportunity to respond. Please keep comments or questions direct, or a time limit of 3 minutes will be imposed. It is not necessary that the applicant respond, but generally in their best interest to do so. There will be no further opportunity for new questions unless new material is entered in as evidence or testimony during their response. Please keep all comments pro and con specific to inland wetland related matters. Other applications that do not involve a public hearing will follow a similar format, with the exception that there will be no public comments allowed. The meeting follows our published agenda unless otherwise amended. Are there any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Okay. All right. So at this point, we'll do general public participation. Is there anybody here in chambers that would like to speak tonight in the general nature? Come on up, state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, members of the Inland Wetland Commission. My name is Joel Lineker. I reside at 70 Huntingtown Road in Monroe. I'm here for some advice regarding the placement of a 12 by 16 foot shed in a water course as part of it's not part of, it's in addition to a restoration project that has begun this year due to the storm of August 2023. I do have an inland wetlands approval for storm damage restoration. IAA 2024-17 file 14696. That application or that approval included dredging of a pond, removal of trees that were blown down, taken down, placing boulders that have been moved through that big storm back in place. It also includes the replacement of a bridge that is connected to an access road that takes me to 90 Huntingtown Road, which is adjacent to 70 Huntingtown Road. The reason that's important is that that road is my only access to that parcel. There are two parcels. 70 Huntingtown Road is 2 acres. 90 Huntingtown Road is 2.5 acres, or 2.7 acres, I should say, almost 5 acres total. I've resided at the property since 1986. I've been there 35 years. The reason I'm asking for clarification is I'm trying to understand or trying to get some information as to whether I can do this through an agent approval process or if I have to go to a full inland wetlands application. Is the major question there.
Have you brought this up with staff yet?
With Scott, you mean with Andrew?
Andrea?
Yes. So Andrew has been working with me on the inland wetlands approval we just finished the pond remediation, the boulders, most of them have been moved back in place. All of the trees that were down were cut up, but they were not removed from the site. There was no wood chipping. The brush and whatever has been placed, I think aesthetically, into the site. Now the site is a ravine, so it's not your typical flat, let's say Monroe parcel. It abuts the dam that was recently replaced by the town, which is Gusky's Pond. That water feeds directly into my pond. And as a result, as you probably can figure, when that storm came through and that dam let go, not only did we lose like 6 acres of water dropped for whatever, plus any of the water that was built from the dam, plus the rains, that came down through that ravine, and all of that material came washing through my pond, took out the bridge, created a lot of an embankment erosion. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, as far as that goes. So the materials that were removed from the pond to restore the pond were also used to remediate all of that erosion. I mean, and it was, as you probably know, it was very significant. I think we've done a good job getting the property back to where it was before the storm. I mean, we still have some work to be done on it, but I think we've done a pretty good job. It has been seeded with conservation grass, plus there's going to be, and a whole line of native plantings have all been done all around the pond already as part of the requirement for the restoration. That is a pretty good overview of where we are on the project.
Yes, and to I can clarify a little bit. So what Joel's here tonight for is he applied for an agent approval to put a storage shed down in this area that we've already given him an approval for restoring the property, but the shed was not part of it. So now he's asking to put a storage shed down in that area.
He said in a water.
Not in a water course, no.
Sorry, I used the term incorrectly. I should say within the 150-foot upland
Review area.
review area. That's how it should.
Not in the wetlands.
Yeah, no, I'm not sticking up.
It's not floating. No, it's not floating.
Okay. I was like, well, this is going to be a good one.
All right, so I wasn't comfortable doing the agent approval because really we are 25 feet, the only place to put the most logical place to put this shed because of the terrain. It's very steep on all sides. The front of that shed is going to be 25 feet from the water's edge. And I'm going to assume that you're going to have a ramp.
There'll be a ramp to it. I mean, the ramp.
And that ramp will wind up closer than that 25 feet.
No, it won't, because the ramp is coming off the side of the structure.
Okay.
So it will be actually, I think the opening to that structure is 12 feet and the ramp is like 6 feet. So it will be 6 feet further off than.
But the shed itself is going to be
the perimeter of the shed.
25 feet off of the water's edge, and it's a storage shed.
And the water's edge is the limit of wetlands, or does it?
No, we didn't get a soil scientist involved just yet. Okay. That's what we're trying to come to you for, to get advice on.
So we have an existing
Yeah,
approved permit. Sounds like we need an amendment to that. Right?
Okay, the approval was for the emergency,
Right.
and that approval was for restoring it back to the way it was.
And this is beyond restoring to the way it was.
Right.
there was not a shed previously.
There was not a shed previously.
So, I mean,
It could be an amendment to that approval if you're comfortable with that.
Why would we do that?
only because one exists already, but I don't know if it's appropriate because of the way this one was issued due to the emergency nature of it.
Do you have drawings of this project?
I have photos. And I also have the site plan, if that'll help you.
What is
I did go out to the site and I was really trying to look for another location for a storage shed on the property that would be further away and avoid any of this. It just doesn't exist.
So because I think we're getting into the application piece of it, the question is, does this need to go through a regular meeting process or not? Sounds to me like it should. Whether it's an amendment or a new application, I will let you determine what's the proper protocol again, because this was a little different because of the nature of it being storm damage and we're trying to go through this quickly.
Right.
So unless you guys think we don't want to see it, I think I want to see this.
I agree with you.
So
I'm just a little bit confused why we went through the whole story of restoring the area and then we got into a discussion about the shed, because to me, it sounds like the shed is a totally separate and independent application from what was restored. Personally, and we could talk about it the next time, it's brought up, but personally, to me, it sounds like it's a separate application. Now, with a caveat, if the reason why you went through that whole story of that damage was, that area was damaged, right? Because of the water, if the reason why it's being brought up is because, okay, if this happens again, we're 25 feet away, maybe we want to consider something further away, then I understand why you went through the whole story. But to me, it sounds like a separate application. I'm not making the link between what was refurbished and restored and then this new application of a shed, because like Eric said, there wasn't a shed there before, right?
Correct.
right, so
It's a new application and the question really is, should it be an agent-approved application or should it be an IWC application?
Okay.
And that's really what Joel is here to find out.
Okay.
Right.
I think it just threw us off a little bit when we were trying to tie it.
That's why I said we're starting to get a little too deep into, let's look at we're not at that part yet. It's what are we doing? I think we need to see it. Just, I don't know that I would be comfortable just doing an agent approval, no offense, given the nature of what happened there. I
agree. I think if there was something there that had been damaged or washed away as part of the storm, and it was about replacing.
We wouldn't be
a
here.
mild modification, like that's one thing, but I think it being a new structure.
Right. I think we
it
should go
being
through
where
the
it
proper
is.
channels, and I think everybody here wants to see it, not just do an agent approval. So I think that's kind of where we left.
Okay.
Somebody else wants to,
No,
I mean,
at the very least, I would have wanted to see the site plan,
but again, we're not at that part yet.
You're right.
That's premature. So I think it needs to be a standard application.
So this will be a regular IWC application.
Right, okay, so given that application, the requirements for that application, this is a temporary shed that's being placed on the property. It has no footings or pylons in which this structure will be placed. Do I need a full A12 survey?
I'll let you hash that out.
That's part of the application.
No, I'm just asking because it's a considerable amount of money to do a soil scientist, to do a new A12 survey for a 12 by 16 foot shed.
When you say temporary, what is temporary?
That's what I was going to comment
Well,
on.
it's listed as temporary because it's not going to, it's,
That doesn't matter in Monroe.
Right.
well, yes, it does because,
If you're putting structures in Monroe, It may be considered temporary because it's not fastened to the ground, but you need a standard permit to put it in there. So I'll let you work that out with
You need a
Andrew. but-
permit, and
Yeah.
you need grounding that supports a shed like that, whether, even if it's 3/4 inch gravel or whatever, right? It may not be a concrete footing.
Oh, no, I understand.
Okay.
And certainly this would have, would have a 3/4 gravel, 4-inch deep pad that this sits on, which is typical protocol, right? And I would only suggest, I guess the question I have is the land the area has been disturbed already. Now, I understand the difference between the two applications. I understand what you're asking for. I'm just asking for clarification within this application because then it will determine whether or not I apply for the application. If I have to do an A12 survey for 5 acres for the subdivision that already exists, plus soil scientists, plus any of the other stuff, it becomes for us, it's okay for a big project, right? You know, a housing development, 4 units being built on a property, I get it. I get it 100%. For something such as this, it's fine. I mean, I will do what you ask. I'm not saying, I'm just raising the question is, for that application, I have to do the complete application or nothing, is what I'm hearing.
Can I ask another clarifying question?
Yep.
Okay, so we know it's not in the water course now, we clarified that, right? But is it 25 feet away from the water?
It is 25 feet from the water's edge.
You don't need a soil scientist for that, right? You already know it's
Yeah, but
25.
the wetlands might extend further from the water than that.
Part of an IWC application, in order for it to be a complete application, it's going to need a soils report,
Yeah.
wetland delineation. It's going to require an A2 survey.
Yeah.
It's going to require 2 alternatives. So 2
Only
alternative
if it's
plans.
significant.
What's that?
Only if it's significant, or no, actually, you're right, it's written in our
The
regular.
rule is 150 feet from a water course without a soil scientist, right? I understand what you're saying about getting a soil scientist in there. But if you just look at the rule alone, it's 150 feet away from a water course. In some cases more. So doesn't that already kind of put us in a situation where we have to kind of,
Where we need a soil scientist?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. No. If I'm doing an agent approval and I see that it's near a water course, it's in the upland review area regardless. Like it is in, so the information that I gather from wetland delineation is irrelevant.
that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Right. It is irrelevant. You know you're in an upland review area, so it's a matter of doing the least amount of impact. But as part of a complete application with an IWC, because
And we don't have the ability of a waiver.
Is there anything we can do to make this a little easier and less onerous on this?
well, that's exactly why he's here.
Right. So
All right. I wasn't doing it as an agent approval without the commission's input on
I
that.
don't think the A2 survey has to include the entire property if you're just affecting a smaller area. The surveyor can get the flags, he can get the wetlands and the surrounding area large enough so that we know what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And you
Okay.
can probably superimpose it on a survey of the property and, and do something like that so that we have enough information to see
If the
where the
commissioner-
shed's going and where the wetlands boundary is.
If the
Or
commissioner,
water edge.
if the commissioners are comfortable with accepting an application that does not have a survey, then we can do that.
I don't think that's what he just said. I think he was looking for a much smaller survey in the targeted area.
I mean, if you have a
as opposed to the
100-acre
property.
parcel and you're doing the work in a little corner, it doesn't make sense to ask people
is
to
that-
survey the property line that's a half mile away.
If we're gonna require it, just on a smaller scale, is that his best interest or ours though? Because what happens if we want to look at another space on the and I don't know the property at this point.
Well, but that's-
What if there are other places that are outside of that survey that is done and we don't have the data that we need for that space?
That'll have to be done again.
It seems like that would probably end up being more expensive.
Right, but if we're looking for an easy path for this particular application, then it's going to be over a smaller targeted area, maybe one that includes an alternate site, but not, like you said, the entire almost 5 acres. So that'll, if first, we as a commissioner are okay with a smaller survey to give us the information we need for this specific project, which we are, because we don't really care about over here, we only care about here. And if something happens and this property is considered unacceptable and it has to be moved somewhere outside of that zone that he had just inspected, we're gonna have to do this again. But that's his risk, not ours. We're giving him an opportunity to say, well, all right, then do a smaller piece, but
Given the option.
knowing that if something is wrong with that, you need to move it and it's outside of the area that you're now getting tested, we may have to start this again.
Doesn't that, our reg don't have anywhere in there, it says we get to adjust the requirements depending on what we have to have that.
Can I pose a question? Again, we don't have an application. We're not looking at the site map. We don't have any of that right now.
Right, correct.
Right? You presented this to us, Andrew, saying there's essentially nowhere else this could go. So the application or the request is to be able to build the structure or to not be able to build the structure. So as far as an agent approval were to go, and my inclination is to agree with everybody that we want to see an application. But if the option is that things can be worked out for it to be built there or it can't be built at all,
That is what,
can we trust staff's judgment of if it can be built at all? Like, can that resolve the question? I'm not saying it can, I'm just trying to look at it differently.
We certainly can look at the application, review it, and then determine, now that we've seen this, we're okay with an agent approval beyond that.
Fair.
So
That's something we could probably ask for, right? Like that.
then, with that being said, that the survey that would make sense would be from your side of the pond up to the road.
Okay.
And that would encompass the area that we could possibly, that we're working on.
and then based on what we see, we could then decide, okay, we're not going to go for an agent approval, and we need to see this level of more information. So.
Yeah, at this point, the
Not all-
answer would be no. If you want us to explore it further, an application is the only way to do that. Right? That's kind of what that.
That's right.
Okay, so I think just so I'm clear, moving forward, we're going to do a full application. It will include soil science data. You'll need that for part of your, if we can move to the next step. You will need to have the 150-foot upland area identified. You will have to have, I would assume you would want topo maps to show the steep slopes that are there, the proposed site, and the inland wetlands borders. Someone mentioned inland wetlands borders, so I want to make sure I know what
That's the wetland delineation.
wetlands delineation, and who is?
And that's a soil scientist.
Going to do that?
And that's a soil scientist.
Soil scientist, okay, we'll cover that. And so I will bring that separately funneled through Andrew. That'll come for your docket or for your agenda, probably in 2 months, probably, I would assume.
It could be in January. Yeah, we have a meeting in January.
Well, and what about, I mean.
You're going to have to get a soil scientist.
It's up to you, right? I mean, it could be. Whenever
you
meeting
get-
in January.
So the only thing I will tell you, based upon the maps that I know, if you, and this is just a conversation, this is not speculation, all right? Should you say, no, you have to be 150 feet away, I cannot meet planning and zoning 50-foot setbacks from highway with that. So at that point in time, if that's a dead issue, I'll talk to Andrew about this, that would probably color my decision as to where it goes. The only other option is to go on to actually 90 Huntingtown Road, which will require that I build a bridge strong enough to be able to take the structure across it and place it on the site. Does anyone have any problems with that?
Again, we need to see all the drawings.
Well, no, the only reason I'm saying is that the application, okay, you'll have to see it, that's fine.
Right.
All right. Anything else that I haven't covered?
I think what would be good to know when this rises again is how many feet back would be sufficient in order to meet the 50-foot feedback.
I'm sorry, say it again, please.
How many feet back from the water course would be sufficient and still meet the 50-foot back from the street.
Got it.
Right.
I can do that, but when you see the topo, when you see the land itself, it's not possible.
Right.
I mean,
We
you're gonna end up,
we had explored other areas to put a storage shed.
Yeah, that's why it's difficult without actually seeing a visual.
Correct.
and I could do it, but it's gonna require a major foundation placement. Major,
Right. We're trying to.
major.
Just before.
And it's not worth it at that point, you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you an overview, that's all.
Before you put in the work and the cost associated with everything that comes next, out of curiosity, what are you looking to store in this shed?
All I'm looking to do is I have lost 15 American beech trees to that beech leaf disease. So now I'm going to be replacing those trees with either chestnut or a combination of chestnut, maples, oaks. I'm going to be using this, the structure itself has a number of windows in it, so I can use it to grow some of those saplings. It's for tools for around there to work in the wetlands area, or I should say the wetlands area type of thing. It does not include any I'm not a leaf blower fan. I'm not a lawnmower fan. I'm not an auger guy, that type of deal. I do understand when you make a decision, I'm not going to be on that property forever. So I know you have to look at a bigger picture, but that's basically what it's going to be used for.
Okay. Thank you. Andrew, you might want to look at the regs, because I'm just looking at them quickly, but it looks like it's A2 is not required for an application, only when there's significant activity or at the discretion of the commission. It's just required to have survey dimensions data. Still signed and sealed and all that, but an A2 survey may not be required.
Then who does that seal come from?
Oh, it's still a surveyor.
Right.
But A2 is, there's a whole different standard of care.
Right.
When you put that A2 standard on it, rather than just showing up, getting an area map, that's the area.
Right. That's why I kept saying A2, it's like there's a big difference in that financial obligation on my part. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Anybody else in chambers want to speak in a general way? Anybody online? No? Okay, moving on. We have no regulated activities. No regular meetings, no public hearings. Moving down to bond release.
So bond release I-12-11, file number 768 is 39 Doris Drive, residential site development. This request was denied at the last meeting, and sorry to bring it back to you, but new information has risen. We had denied it because we wanted to see the plants in the ground for a full year. I thought they were planted in this past spring, but they were planted the previous spring. So they went in the ground, and he produced a picture showing
So spring of 20.
May of 2024 is when the plants went in.
Okay, so they've been a year and a half.
So it's been a year and a half. The condition of the approval is that the full bond release is not, has to be held for 3 full years, 3 full growing seasons.
Okay.
So the ask right now is for a reduction in the bond, $5,000 reduction from $6,870. It leaves $1,870 in a bond.
How did he come up with that figure?
6,870 was the total amount of the bond.
All right, I'm just trying to.
The,
5,000, like.
so the
not like it's
planting-
half, it's-
The planting and the seeding comes out to 1870. So what would be held on the bond is the living plant material there.
Do you support this?
I do. The other portions of the bond were for silt fence, which has been removed, sediment trap, which has been removed. So yeah, staff has no issues with that.
Okay, motion to reduce the bond to $1,870 for 12-11 file 768 39 Doors Drive.
We have a motion to reduce the bond. Do we have a second? We have a second. All in favor?
I,
Sounds unanimous. Okay. All right. Moving down to agent activities report.
And the only thing we have on the agenda today for the agent activities report is an enforcement. It's a violation IWV-2025-09, file number 1561 is 27 Yankee Hill Road. Clearing vegetation in the upland review area and/or wetlands. It is tied together with a violation IWV-25-31, file number 1562, which is 48 Squire Road. Same violation, clearing vegetation in the upland review area and/or wetlands, and that was caused by 27 Yankee Hill Road. That is the
These two
viol-
parcels are next to each other?
Yes, so, yeah, go ahead.
Can you please just give us a little play-by-play on the pictures you gave us? I did take a look at the good look at the pictures, but I'd like you to tell me.
What it is you're looking at?
We're looking at.
What it is you're looking at? Okay, so I got an email from Deep Department of Energy, and I got an email from Deep. They got a complaint about an ATV trail, dirt bike trail in somebody's backyard. Went out and investigated, and it turns out that 27 Yankee Hill Road had cleared out some vegetation, and in doing that, they've encroached through a small sliver of town of Monroe property and into the backyard of 48 Squire Road. So it's approximately 13,000 square feet that's been encroached upon. And it was done unknowingly on somebody else's property.
Complaint did not come from 48 Square Road?
What's that?
The complaint did not come from 48, or it's not.
The complaint came from Department of Environmental Protection.
Somebody started a complaint about trail. It's not to be known publicly, or?
I don't know that information. It like I said, it came from DEEP.
But it's not the neighbor,
Me.
not the neighbor that Yankee Hill backs up on Squire Drive that's complaining. They're both parties are unaware.
I'm not sure if 48 was aware of it beforehand or not, but they are now because I issued a violation on their property as well.
Okay, so why don't you walk us through what we're looking at here on these photos again? So, yeah, photo 1 and 2, start with, let's see what we got here.
Okay, so you have a copy of the violation. The next image is a GIS image. The black line represents the whole area that's been disturbed. The blue line is a small brook that exists. And the whole area that's outlined in black there is an area that's been, you can see the pictures. It's been backbladed. Vegetation has been removed. It seems to be mostly brush. I can't tell any evidence of trees that were removed, but it seems like a lot of brush was removed, a lot of ground cover was removed.
Obviously very intentional.
Yes, very intentional, yes. And in speaking with the homeowner, so I went out and met with the homeowner, the property owner. And yeah, it was done to create an ATV / dirt bike track.
the property owners of,
Yeah, which property?
27 Yankee Hill.
and which property lines refer to 27 Yankee and 48 Squire?
If you go back to that, so to the right is 27 Yankee Hill. The small sliver in the middle is town property. And to the left of the yellow line, that is 48 Squire.
Between the yellow lines is town property?
It's town property, yes. It's a small sliver of town property that goes from one end to the other.
What about in the northwest corner, that yellow line, is that a third property?
Yes, that's a third property owned by Aquarian,
Okay.
Is that also impacted as well?
which was not impacted by this.
But it looks like it was according to the black
It just looks
line.
like your line encompasses that a little bit, the disturbed area.
That's what I-
This
Yeah.
up here.
Yep.
So I guess we're just wondering who owns this property and is this also affected?
It's hard to tell when you're standing out there exactly where that is without having it surveyed. I don't know exactly where that corner is.
Okay, we just might need to know because if we are remediating property and we're doing it on somebody else's property, we're going to be right back in here. So
Correct.
we should clarify exactly who owns that just to be sure what's going on there.
And actually, it's not 3, it's actually 4. It's 27 Yankee, it's 48 Squire, it's Aquarian, and it's the town of Monroe. There's 4 properties potentially involved, right? Just so that we
And
know.
you'll know that with a survey.
Right, yeah, we're
I'm
gonna,
looking at GIS. It's not 100%.
yeah, no, I agree.
Go ahead, Rick.
I see the blue line is that stream that goes through,
Yes.
and that's pictured on picture 3.
Yes. And you could see,
5 and 6.
well, you could see a better picture of it, pictures 5 and 6.
Yep,
So that was within 10 feet of the stream.
Yes.
I scale it, it's, that black line is 10 feet or less sometimes.
You
And
could be within 10 feet of an intermittent watercourse, yes. And you could see the pile of brush where Joe is standing right there, where the tractor is.
is the resident from 27 Yankee Hill here?
Yes.
Which one is Yankee Hill? Is it the last house on the left?
It's not the very last house on the left. It's the second to last house on the left.
Let's hear from the residents.
So when I went out there, just so you know, I went out there with a representative from Aquarian, and we were investigating this. The tractor was sitting not on his property anymore and really close to the watercourse. I approached the property owners, let them know what was going on, and told them immediately, first thing is get that machine out of there and put up a silt fence.
how's that happen?
And yes, the silt fence was up the night of the request.
What pictures of that?
We do have pictures of it. You don't have pictures in front of you, but I was emailed pictures of the silt fence installed. So I figured the immediate was just to get a silt fence up there, and I'll bring it to your attention.
All right, so where are we now with the homeowners?
So the homeowners are here to answer to the violation.
Who should go first?
Is that?
Who should go first, Yankee Hill or Squire Road?
Well, I think 27 Yankee Hill was the one that created the violation, so.
Yeah, I think I'd like to actually hear from the other
Yeah, I would too.
Squire Road,
fire road for, if they're present.
and he is present. There you go.
So,
Would you sign in?
yeah, please state your name and address for the record, please. Sign in.
Andrew, did you drop these lines? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, GIS is not 100%, so,
Yeah, it's.
you know, I take a lot of liberties with guessing where this is.
You did a good
Yeah,
job.
you did
for
best you
guessing.
can. Okay, Josh, if you repeat your name, your address, please.
Joshua Harrison, 48 Squire Road.
Okay.
You guys have questions for me or you can just?
Well, we're just curious as to what you know and how you found out and what your thoughts are about the situation.
I knew he was, I can see back that he's making like a dirt bike track. I can see him and his friends doing that. Didn't particularly bother me, I'll say. And I'm kind of new to the house. I bought the house like kind of like just like a year and a half ago. And I, especially in the fall, like where it is right now, it's really overgrown, thorns and stuff like that. So it's hard to even get back in there. And I wasn't aware that he was getting onto my property until Deep notified us.
So it's
Deep
just,
notified you.
Notified my neighbor, or maybe it was something like my neighbor saw them doing a survey and then went and talked to him. Or maybe it was you.
He would have seen me and Joe from Aquarian if he saw anybody out there, because Deep didn't send anybody out there. Deep contacted us.
So Aquarian was there.
Yes, Aquarian was on site.
Okay.
but that was only after,
That was only after Deep contacted us.
so,
Deep contacted me, I contacted Aquarian.
so we're still unsure as who contacted Deep. Not that
Correct.
that really is relevant,
It's not
Oh,
relevant.
that's fine.
but, so.
So you were unaware that they were encroaching on the wetlands at all? You aware that that is a
Like I
stream?
said, it's hard to see, especially in the
Yeah.
fall time. There's a lot of brush through there and it's like vines through the trees.
But do
In the
you-
winter time, it's more obvious now.
were you aware that there's a stream back there?
Yes.
Yeah, and you didn't think twice that maybe they're getting close to the stream, or did you?
I can't tell.
Well, it's hard to see, like you said.
No,
like
I'm just wondering if he took any opportunity to talk to the neighbors and ask them about the project, that's all.
No.
Well,
Let it go.
I am meeting them the first time right now. I do
Right.
know their son a little bit because he helps cut our yard.
right. So, that's fine. All right, very good. Thanks. Okay, so now I guess we'd like to hear from the owners of 27 Yankee Hill Road. If they're here, come on up. Please sign the sheet and state your name and address for record.
Eric Turkelson, 27 Yankee Hill Road.
Actually, I want to make one more comment. I saw him
So
work,
come to the microphone again.
I saw him work on the project for.
Maybe just state your
Yeah,
name.
just
again.
restate your name.
Joshua Harrison.
Yep.
When I think they got notified was when he had done more, I'll say. So I saw him back there for a bit. And then I think he had just kind of taken more out. And then that's when someone notified. So
Yeah,
when he
but-
made a comment about like, I had a chance to speak up. I don't think it had gotten that far really until.
Thank you. Sorry for the interruption, please.
Eric Turkelson. I don't know where to begin.
Start with what you know and when you know it and what your plan is.
My son's friend loaned him a machine asked if he could store a machine for a couple weeks. I said, no problem, we can put it on the property for a couple weeks. My son, learning how to use equipment, he has a landscaping business. He wants to be an operator of machinery. And so he used the machine to scrape our back property to make a dirt bike track. I don't want him in the woods. I don't want him on the street. So I said, okay, scrape the back of the woods and he has a little 110cc dirt bike, 4-stroke. Yeah, there's so much I could say here.
How old is your son?
He's 19.
What?
19,
And he lives at home now?
yes.
Okay, so okay.
He started an LLC as a landscaper at 18 at Massey. He's a go-getter. He works hard. But we made a mistake. Obviously, I don't want to fix that. I thought our property was up to the stream. I didn't think he was doing anything wrong. Obviously, I found out very quickly that this property line is very complicated and that we did go off of our property.
You had no idea that the town of Monroe owned a strip back
I had no
there?
idea. I saw the pictures that Andrew showed me when we walked and looked at the back of our property. There's like a 10-foot strip behind our property. I had no idea. I knew there was Aquarian water, very clearly marked with a rock wall up to the, walking back at our property. There's a rock wall with signage. Every year, I think, they relabel for hunting in that area. I think it's bow hunting. I can hear guns in that area. I'm not sure if it's both. My neighbor Jim had some issue with his property. He told me, so I trusted him about where the property is. There's signs. There's new signs at the end of the rock wall. My other neighbor had their property surveyed, I want to say in the last 6 months, maybe last year. So she showed me where her property line ended on the left side of the property. I thought the stream was the back of the property. There's a steep hill on the other side of the stream. You can walk it, but it's pretty steep. Where his property is, the stream, steep hill, and there's definitely more land behind his house. I don't know. What's to say?
You have a well, you get your water from it.
City water.
And you had no idea that this might be wetlands and you might be affecting.
I noticed wetlands to the left behind my neighbor's house. I could see that. It's not wet, so honestly, I did not know it was wetlands.
Okay, so Andrew, what are you recommending we do here?
Well, I mean, it's a remediation. Certainly you're going to need to come together with a remediation plan to fix it, put it back to the way it was
Absolutely.
before you disturbed it. We are more than likely going to want to see a barrier for future, a barrier across the back of your property so that you know where your property ends, with markers delineating it.
Maybe you can recommend a couple types of barriers for him.
Typically, there's rebar in the ground, right, for property markers, but
Sometimes it's rebar, sometimes it's cement. Yeah.
Andrew, where on this view does the actual house sit and how far away?
How far?
You can see it in the pictures in the background.
Yeah, but
Yeah, just my mental image is where Squire is versus.
You know what? Let me do this.
It's not like they're right.
Our backyard is like a soccer field. It's huge. It goes from the house straight back to that line.
And the only reason I ask is because, you want your son to still maybe be able to do something, right? But after you get the yard marked,
I'm nervous about it now, but yes, I do.
but I mean, after you get it marked and and if you want to get a soil scientist and know exactly where the wetlands are in the upland review area, you can say, hey, stay within that amount. It sounds like you have a big yard, so stay within that amount. Maybe if you're not using that yard, you happen to do something there, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What bothers me is that you disturbed an area that was Josh's and that you had no clue that that was even his area. I mean, it was not just the town, but Josh's as well. I find that pretty hard. My neighbor has a dirt bike as well. They tried to put a little loop around a tree on my property and I said, not happening.
Yeah, but you're, I mean, he's not-
I mean, Josh doesn't seem deeply upset by this, so let's not.
Right, so,
It was communication.
okay, he made a mistake and he owned up to it. So
Yeah.
let's accept it at his face value right now. We can move on. It's okay.
My wife just texted me, the way that we got notified was by Ryan. As soon as Ryan, actually contacted us.
Right,
I
so,
apologize.
So again, they're trying to do the right
we're
thing.
trying to do the right thing.
I'm sorry.
The second he realized that he went over, he asked if he could go to their house.
All right.
And she said, just call me, we'll talk.
Yeah.
And they said, it's okay.
So maybe we give I don't know what, maybe we give recommendations on how they do the right thing, but I think like we were saying before, there's probably 4 parties involved in this, right? So.
Right, we got to find out exactly who's involved and all that. So we're going to obviously need a larger map, more specific survey, and
Yeah, you're gonna hire a professional, you're
Right.
gonna survey it, and a soil scientist will map the area and come up with a proposed fix.
right.
And then, I mean, there's not much you're gonna do now. Other
Yeah,
than the sill fence, and then you come in the spring.
The night I was notified, I got a sill fence, I put it the best I could. The ground started to freeze a little bit. It's a very tough area to put it right by the stream there.
Right.
I removed the blocks, I got the machine out that night. I yelled at my son. Trying to do the right thing.
Right, so,
We appreciate that.
yeah, so let's continue with that process.
It'll be a full IWC remediation application, which will have to be done. We'll need a soil scientist. So the first step is to get a soil scientist in to delineate the wetlands. I'm going to have to get permission from our town attorney. We'll have to get a hold harmless clause so that the surveyor can go, the soil scientist can go on our property and delineate the wetlands for us.
And it sounds like also,
And also for 48, 48 Squire,
and potentially aquarium,
potentially aquarium.
right? Yep.
In this, I would say, and for Josh, this might be a good time for you to understand where the upland review area on your property is as well, right? Just for future, because you have a stream running right through your yard, right? So, so this is a good opportunity, right, for everybody, but yeah, I'm sorry.
Was the property disturbed that is Aquarian's property, or is it just close to it?
It's not disturbed. Was that the question?
Yes.
It is not disturbed. It's all virgin woodland.
So your line that you're showing over here may be a little extended beyond what it really is. That's okay. We just want to make sure we're covering all the bases here. So if you don't have to involve aquarium, don't.
I may want to.
We'll find that out when we have the survey done. And really, as far as the survey goes, so you'll need a surveyor to, at the very least, the back property line is really what we need. We don't need the whole property surveyed, correct? We just need the back property line.
Well, again, we're not quite sure. Did you get into the neighbor over here? I think you want a little more than just the back property line. I think you need to cover.
Whole upper review area.
Well, I think he might want to see the whole upland review area because you might want to know what you can do in the future.
Right.
Why have to go back again another year from now or 2 years or 3 years from now to say, hey, am I far enough in to do a dirt bike?
I'll have it surveyed, yeah.
You might want to invest in that now, but it's up. I don't know who that's up to, but.
The DEP was back there. My neighbor actually called me. He said, I think it was that day or earlier that day, they were putting signs up for hunting. And they talked to him because he was back there. He had a boat in his backyard. They were talking to him and they said, oh yeah, what's all that? When you're betting, they're the ones that notified.
Could it have been aquarium
From what I was told.
reaching out to deep?
No, because I was, Aquarian wasn't aware of it until I made them aware of
It's
it.
hearsay.
Somebody asked the question from the back of the house to the back of the property line, 180 feet.
So
180 feet from the back of the house to the back of the property line. And then the violation is probably another 50 feet into that.
right. Okay. Well, I think, it's like you said, let's start with a survey. Minimum, obviously, the back property line of both their properties, but probably be a good idea to go beyond.
Okay, so I will work with you on getting the permission from the town to be on that property. We'll talk to Aquarian. We'll need an affidavit from 48 Squire and come together with a remediation plan from from a wetland scientist
Right.
who can delineate the wetlands and come up with the plan.
Correct. Okay. Any other questions, please? Okay.
Thank you for being forthcoming.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you too, Josh.
All right. I think that kind of covers us for just about everything here. Anything else from agent activities report?
And that is all I have for you.
Do we want to go through the minutes since Ben is not here? Or do you want to table that again?
So Ben at the last one said he had looked at them and he hadn't had any issues with them. I'd like to, if we could, if you've had a chance to look at them and nobody's had any issues with the minutes.
Something with the 10-8 that needed to just be tweaked?
It was resolved. It was resolved. Yep.
All right, so we can approve the 10-8 ones, but maybe we'll hold off on 11-12 ones since he's not here to comment whether he went through them or not.
Fair enough.
Unless you guys have any other things about it. All right, somebody want to make a motion to approve the minutes from the 8?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of 10-8 as edited, right? Sorry, 11? No,
No,
not
just
11.
just any,
Just any.
just any.
And then we'll hold off on
Yeah,
to
all right.
to approve that one.
So we have a motion to approve the 10/8/25 meeting minutes. We have second?
I'll second that.
We have second. All in favor? Aye. And then we will table the 11/12/25 minutes till our next meeting. Correspondence?
I was going to talk under correspondence about the requirement of all the commissioners taking the training course, but we've kind of talked about that and,
So where did we kind of, I know he wasn't here for any of that conversation. I walked halfway through.
okay, so it's now a requirement that all commissioners take the training course, the Yukon training course. I could send you all the link to it. I think I did.
I think you did, yeah.
Wait until after the first of the year before starting it. It's an 8-hour online course. You could take it in sections. Just make sure you finish the exam for the section that you finished. Otherwise, you have to listen to it again.
Even though we did this a few years, like.
Even though you did this a
every
few years ago, it has to be done now every 4 years. Every 4 years, all commissioners. And at the end of this, you get a certification.
Ooh. With a cookie.
The point is send me the certification so that I could keep them on file.
Okay.
Do we get a seal like Jim has one, or?
Press something, yeah. No, they don't give
They
those
don't give
ways
it,
to
no.
anybody.
Okay. Maybe
I don't even
that.
think you get a prize at the end.
I don't even think I got
Yeah,
my,
I
my
want-
seal when I did it.
It's
I
a
never
UConn
saw it.
class. I want basketball tickets.
Right,
as a
exactly.
result of it.
One note on that is that if we do have a problem with everybody, including Jim and I, who've done it within the last year, if we have a problem with that at all, they're in the advisory drafting for this particular subsection D. So if we have anything that we would like changed, we have to work through our lawyer to say, look, we don't want to do this.
Who do we talk to? I mean, the COG probably does it. Council of Governments?
Say it again?
The Council of Governments? Who's your Council of Governments? The COG? No.
A lawyer. Legal advice.
Oh, that's our town attorney, Frank Lito.
I mean, you may want to talk to the town's COG, because I imagine they're dealing with this, and they always have someone who's dealing with the elected officials, and they can push a comment through, which is, hey, if you've been trained in the last 4 years, it should be good for another, whatever, year or two, or whatever. Whatever.
I don't disagree, but
It's only 8 hours a month.
Right. Oh, yeah, right.
You can never
It
do
wouldn't hurt us. Probably good for us.
That's fine. All right, bylaw change for meeting time. I know we talked about pushing it back a little bit to accommodate.
Yeah, so we need to, we had talked about moving the meeting time back to 7 o'clock because it seems to be a little bit of an issue trying to get here at 6:30. So in the bylaws, it was in your packets. And the only change on there really is the 6:30 back to 7 o'clock.
So I know we moved it sooner because we're trying to avoid these getting out at midnight kind of scenarios. Is there any way we can put like a time limit on some of this stuff just to like, hey, when we're approaching this time, we're out gonna, because some of these were just
You
ridiculous.
can do anything you want, you're the chairman.
I don't know if I could just,
You can postpone the junk until later.
I
You can speed up the meeting.
it's true.
I can look, I believe in our regulations, if it exceeds a certain time,
We won't start any new business.
we won't start any new business, right? But if we're in the middle,
Though, that's still kind of late, so.
What about just capping the amount of time spent on a given hearing?
Right, because some of these are like,
Yeah, the ones
some of these
that-
presentations are like, they present for an hour before we have a chance to then dialogue back and forth. So can we, like, I know we limit comments or can limit comments to 3 minutes. Can we put a
the time
time limit
limit,
on some of these presentations? Like, because some of them are just, and I know we don't want to not get information and rush things, but like, holy cow, like,
I guess our risk is just the length of hearings. They can only go for a certain amount of time.
right, you'd have to.
There's a time limit on, there's a time limit on when you have to make a decision on a project.
If we cut them
And if-
short of an hour each time, and then all of a sudden, there's not enough time.
Yeah, I don't think you want to tell an applicant that he's got to stop telling them stuff.
Right,
I
I'm
mean,
with
you
you.
could certainly say you've said this 3 times
Right.
or that's not relevant or something. if they
I guess
got
that's up
tracked.
to me and us to move it along. Like, let's go, we're beating a dead horse here, so.
Here's what I've
Especially knowing that you're probably going to hear it all again the next
Well,
meeting and hear
yeah.
it all again at the following meeting.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the,
I think what I've noticed is it's less the applicants, it's more the lawyers. That's
they want to get everything on the record.
Right.
So that when they, you know,
They have
take it
the-
to the next step, they've got the record to.
If you think about over the year, I mean, how often did that happen?
There are a couple of applications.
There were a couple.
Yeah, there were a couple that were,
That's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Right, we were here
It's gonna
till
happen
midnight.
Because you're going to get the public in and they're going to want to speak
Right.
and you're going to go back and forth and it's
right,
it's up to us to
Keep
make
it- yeah.
make our questions pointed and get the answer quickly and then move.
keep them on topic,
and
right.
keep them on top.
We've
Other than
certainly allowed for some broad conversations that need to be brought back. So rather than just allow, a resident to go off on why the buses are gonna be overloaded.
Yeah,
Hey, we,
or the deer.
right, like, let's, inland wetland, please, let's.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think there's any reason why you can't respectfully say, we have heard this.
Right. Or it's not relevant to
Or,
our.
or only
if
knew
it's not-
something new. You know?
Okay, right. Okay. That being said, back to are we all okay with resetting the start time to 7 PM? Because that'll help Ben, and I know that'll help you.
Yeah, I mean, I can get here within a couple of minutes every week,
Right,
but I am
I see you
playing the
curious.
games. Yeah,
Struggling, so,
bringing company with me and stuff like that.
yeah.
So
I don't like watching you bring company. It's
Yeah, I mean, it lightens up the room.
family a little bit.
She's got to learn how the process works.
Yeah.
So she can take over when you retire.
Exactly.
Told her
You
if you'd
can
like,
probably bring 50 more people if you'd like.
Yeah.
told her if you'd like the second selectman. Kind of all this often. Right.
Okay, motion to approve the modification to the inland wetlands bylaws, 6:30 to 7 PM start time.
As with the schedule itself, right? We need to approve both?
No, that's a separate vote.
Oh, okay.
That's a separate motion.
I second the motion to move the scheduled time to 7 PM.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. That's it. Okay.
And now take a look at the meeting schedule.
Not much we can do about it. 'cause-
Motion to approve the 2026 regular meeting minute or meeting schedule.
We have a motion to approve the meeting schedule for 2026.
A second.
We have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Guess I will sign this and send it back down your way?
Yes.
Please.
So I should keep that, huh?
And I guess that is everything. So unless anybody wants to hang around for a while, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Perfect. Hey.
We're done.